Welcome to the show, everybody. Here we are on Straight Talk Thursday, and Your City, Your Voice. It says right up there, Your City, Your Voice. Yeah. Got another sign, and I don't know if you can see it too well. I don't know if you can see it that good. I'll have to look at the video later on, see if it pops through on the Your City, Your Voice sign up there. And what do we got going on? Of course, I'm Paul Calamere. This is 4680Q Radio in downtown Niagara Falls, Ontario, Canada, coming to you live. Always live on 4680Q. And we do video it. We. Who's me? Me and nobody. I video and I do get it to YouTube and to Rumble and to X and to Truth Social. So it's on those four platforms at some point in time. And this is show number 585. Couple more weeks, I'm at 600. And unfortunately, my buddy Peter Dichter won't be here to do 600. So we're going to celebrate show number 600 probably before he leaves to go back to Florida and down in Naples. So we'll get him in here. It might be show number 597 or something like that. But we will get it. We will get him in here. We get him in. I want to get him in next week, too. There's so much going on we got to talk about. It's ridiculous. But first things first, and that is the weather. Beautiful morning out here. It's around 70 degrees, 67 when I got up this morning at 5 o'clock. A little bit of rain dropped last night. That's perfect. Let it rain at night, but there's an 84% chance of it giving us a little bit more today. We'll see what happens. And it says it's going to get up to 84 degrees. Woo, that's pretty good. That's pretty good for this time of year. Man, we're almost in October here. And it's supposed to stick around this weather till at least the middle of October. How can you beat it? How can you beat it? This is beautiful, beautiful weather for fall. Now, right before the show, we were out in the studio here, out in the lobby, and guess what? We presented a check to the Rick Rose Foundation for $2,500. That's right. It's the money that we raised from our little event centered around the naming of part of Queen Street, Rick Rose Way, honoring Rick Rose, who used to own 4680Q. It's been turned over to Pat Porter now, of course. And Rick was fundamental in getting this station going eight or 9 years ago and getting me my little start at doing this gig here and having fun with it. So there you go. It's been a while in honor of him. And we presented his foundation, which helps kids with music, for a check for $2,500 for that day. So that's pretty good. We're pretty proud to do that. And that's that. So, and I thank all my sponsors because they're all the ones, some of them, or all of them actually, all my sponsors kicked in to donate to the cause, which is great. I thank them. Well, Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop, Hamill Machine Company, and Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue. Thank you so much for getting in on the action. And of course, the toy shop up in Walkerton, Ontario. Larry up there, he was good enough to chuck in, and so was Ronnie Don's Ice Cream. Ronnie over here on Queen Street chipped in a little bit of money too to help out. So thank you very much to all of the guys who chipped in for it. It was a fantastic day in honor of Rick Rose. Okay, so speaking of my sponsors, let's get to them right now before we get into the show, because we're going to go all over the place today. It's going to be crazy, straight talk, and we're talking straight about everything. Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop, Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue, Hamill Machine Company, Niagara Parks Commission. They're our sponsors. And at the end of the day, we ask you to support our sponsors because they support the show. Now, we look outside. It's going to be nice for a few weeks here. No doubt about it. But at the end of the day, you know what's coming, right? You know that winter's coming and you want to be proactive, get your car checked out, make sure it's running great for the winter. You don't want to break down in miserable weather. And what really gets you is that October rain when it's 40 degrees out, damp, chilly, and you're standing out there with a broke down car. No, you do not want that. So what do? Hello, Ken Hunter? Yes. Please look at my car, and you take your car in there, and he'll go through all of your systems, make sure it's running tip-top perfect, no problemos, and you're going to be in good shape. breakdowns. You're going to have a good motoring winter without any problems, and a safe one too, because he's checking your brakes and everything. I'm going to open the store because all the noise left, and he's going to make sure your brakes are good. Everything's safe for your family. Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop, Oakwood Drive, next to the Kia dealership. What was I going to say? WildBillsAuto.ca. That's the website. I'm going, woo! And while you're there at the website, just jump over to YouTube. Check out Paul Lemire, my channel, or Your City, Your Voice, and subscribe. There's only like 174, 175 subscribers. We want to get to 200. We have an election coming up. Get in there, subscribe. It costs nothing, and you help us to keep this show going. Get in there, subscribe, hit the like button, leave some comments, whatever you want to do. We'll be here. We'll be talking about them, and that's where we're going to hit next. Viewer comments and talk about them for a second before we get into the show. And then I'm going to have a little sippy poo. Support our sponsors. They're really, really good corporate citizens, good people, and they give back to the city. Viewer comments. Okay, what's my first one here? Let's see here. The Iceman 69, one of the regulars. Not a billion, but close. Now, what he was talking about is I said there was, 14 million people a year coming to Niagara Falls. And since tourists started coming to Niagara Falls 200 years ago, there's probably been a billion people. And so he was saying not quite a billion. It's all about the math, unless you're using eclipse math. Good one, Johnny, because remember Mayor James, King James said there was going to be 2 million people in Niagara Falls for the eclipse in 2024. Was it last year? Yeah, I think it was last year. And he got about maybe 80,000 or something. So unless you're using eclipse math, is correct. Estimate 10 times the amount that are really here. At 12 million a year, it would be 84 years before we reach a billion. Before 1970, there have been maybe 3 million a year, then drop that number back further, the further back you go. Maybe someone could come up with a number for the billionth visitor. So John thinks it's a great idea to celebrate our billionth visitor and have a celebration, but that could be a while. A billion's a lot. But I'm willing to bet, John, and that's a great idea, John Rigo Beam. He said to copyright the idea, all rights reserved. That's a good idea, but we might have to do a little search here and find out an estimate of how many people have been here. Maybe 250 million, maybe 500 million. Who knows? Get some summer students in to do all the math, set a date when they think it's going to happen, the 500 millionth visitor, and do a big thing around it. At midnight on that day, get all the hotels to tell us who the first person was to go into Niagara Falls and register for a room after midnight. They're number 500 million or 250 million, and they get the prize. Not a bad idea, Johnny. A great way to market the city. It would be a lot of fun talking about that. So get on it. Let's go. Who do we talk to? Serge Filicetti? Bob Gale? Who the heck do we talk to about this? Because I think it would be it's a great idea to celebrate Niagara Falls and the tourism. The Iceman 69. Why would they send him back? Okay, what he's talking about here is the guy in Welland, Mahmoud Fahoud, or whatever his name is. And what did he do there? He groped someone or something? I can't remember. Another crime. I can't remember what he did, though. I talked about it on my show. I talk about so much stuff. I can't remember all the news all the time. But anyway, they said, why send him back to the old country where he came from? Keeping him here and out of jail is a positive, not a negative. Now, John's being facetious here. He's not serious about that. If you get rid of all crime, what would you do with the judges, cops, prison guards, lawyers, social workers, and all the other stuff and people that support the criminal justice system? Not to mention the doctors, nurses, trauma counselors, social workers, ambulance drivers, mechanics, office staff, and many others, including jails that are full, and 3 guys to a cell sometimes. So you need people to staff those jails. It's a big industry that actually helps drive the economy. When you step back and look at the big picture, you really see all of the lies and deception they tell us because we are too focused on the small parts. In life, there are only positives and negatives for those that are part of the show. Now that's a real deep comment there, John. But at the end of the day, all these people that may be able to put in their hours doing good things for society, um, rather than criminals, would be a good thing, right? Everybody you mentioned was doing things for taxpayers and society to make society better rather than wasting their time on these friggin' criminals. That would be a good thing. So I'm going to stick to my detain, deport, incarcerate. They're not from here or on some kind of a special visa and that, they go home. If you can't deport them, then you incarcerate them. That's what I say. Either get rid of them or throw them in jail. Throw them in jail. There's enough crime without these guys to keep everybody working and happy. We don't need offshore people to add to the mess we already have, although I'll tell you statistics that I read later on in the show about that. Okay, so we need more prisons. We got to throw these guys in jail. We need more prisons. We need to build a Sasquatch Alcatraz. That's right. Right out in the middle of the forest, the Sasquatch Alcatraz. Let them watch the Sasquatch run around. Let's get it going. We need a few of them. That's what I say. Third comment at Penny Brookify. I haven't heard from Penny Brookify, but she's back. She's back commenting. Thank you very much. She says it's a mad, mad, mad world. I heard the rapture is predicted to be today. Now, that was the 23rd she was talking about. And she said that must be the 487th prediction of rapture in my lifetime. And she's right. We hear about this all the time. It's predicted, but I thought it was predicted for the 24th. Now we've gone by the 24th because today's what, the 25th? So we're past that date. And I don't think it happened yesterday unless something big happened that I missed. When is the next one scheduled? I don't know. I'm sure there's another one. There's one, seems to be 2 or 3 a year. But when the rapture is going to come, I don't think anybody's going to all of a sudden know about it. It's just going to all of a sudden happen. So these guys who make predictions, I'm not sure what they're up to because I don't think anybody can predict something like that. But from what I hear, it is the end times. And I think everybody will agree on that. Okay, enough. That's enough of the comments. No more comments. That's it. That's all. So here we go. So we want to get the numbers so we can honor the 250 millionth or 500 millionth visitor. Yes, John. We want to throw the criminals in jail. We don't want to keep crime going. Not a good idea, John, although I know you're being facetious. And also, it's a mad world. No rapture yet. But if it happens, don't be surprised. So let's talk about some good news, though. I always talk about bad news. I'm the guy with the bad news all the time. There's not a lot of good news going around right now, but this is good news. A couple in Niagara Falls have given Birchway Niagara a big boost, and it's a campaign to improve the experience of all women and children seeking safety from abuse. And we do have women's places that women can go with their kids to be safe from abusive spouses or boyfriends or whatever. And Birchway is the one. So Jana, I think that's how you say her name, Yana, and Michael Katz have gifted Birchway with $750,000 in support of the 5.5 million Creating Safe Spaces campaign that they're running. And what they want to do is expand their 45-bed shelter on McLeod Road in Niagara Falls. The project will add 15 more safe beds that will accommodate families with pets as part of the expansion, along with a community room for clients to gather with family and add additional office space for collaborating and programming. The agency will also install an emergency generator to ensure the shelter is safe and operational when the power goes out. So they want to expand, they want to deal with more people, be able to help more people. And the cats, Yana and Michael, have given $750,000 towards the cause. Congratulations, Yana and Michael. That's very, very nice of you. With this kind donation, Birchway is at 3.8 million of its $5.5 million goal, which is fantastic. Yana Katz, I don't know if it's Jen or Yana Katz, said the couple supported the project to ensure nobody in Niagara Falls has to live in fear and that children and parents can be connected during difficult moments. Jennifer Gauthier, Birchway Executive Director, says that this extraordinary gift from the Katz family is a testament to their love for this community and their compassion for families in need. By stepping forward in such a generous way, they are helping to ensure the safety, dignity, and connection for survivors of abuse and their families for generations to come. So there you go. Well done and well appreciated. And to me, it's a great story for Birchway and the Katz family. These donations are so important, and I think the whole city would thank Yana and Michael Katz for their donation to such a good organization. Thank you so much. Very good. You deserve a mention on this show for sure. Want to contribute to the cause, anybody? Contact Amanda Barrett. What the heck was that? Amanda Brett, Braet, Amanda Brett at 905-356-3933, extension 240, or email Amanda B at birchway.ca. So there you go. If you want to give a donation and see if we can, you guys can get them up to the 5.5 million that they're trying to raise. Thank you very much to the Katz family. Thanks to Metroland Staff Niagara this week for the article. So there you go. Good news story. There are great people in Niagara Falls. There are great people in Niagara Falls. I will say that again. It deserves repeating, and we see them all the time. And we saw it this morning with that $2,500 check to the Rick Rose Foundation. And Gary Wilkins wasn't here for the picture, unfortunately, but Gary Wilkins donated that guitar, which 4680Q managed to sell, and he won the guitar at the event. He gave it back. He gives back to the city all the time, Gary. He gave it back to the foundation, sold the guitar, and the money goes right to the foundation. So thank you, Gary Wilkins. When we talk about good deeds, you're right there at the top, my friend. Okay, moving on. Are people finally mad as hell and not going to take it anymore? Maybe they are. Seeing a lot of people that have had enough all over the world, not just in Canada and the United States. The United States for sure. They're done with these left-wing radical lunatics. Totally done. They've realized that it's not Republican versus Democrat. It's not good. It's not left versus right. It's good versus evil. That's where it's standing right now. It appears, so far as sex offenders go, St. Catharines City Councilors have added their voices to a growing call on the feds to make the National Sex Offender Registry publicly accessible, which is long overdue. And I just remember with Fahoud did. He went to a hotel in Niagara Falls and pulled an indecent act on the woman working there and tried to assault her. That's what he did. So that I remember now. But this National Sex Offender Registry, they want to make it publicly accessible, so we know if there's these sex offenders on the list that are living in our neighborhoods, so we can protect our families and kids from them. The reality is, people have had enough, said Kevin Townsend, who brought a motion to council following last month's attack on a Welland child. We read about that. 3-year-old little girl was molested and injured very badly during it. And they got the guy. But he had done it before and he wasn't on any kind of a sexual offender list. People don't want to deal with this anymore. And the reality is, we want our communities to be safe. I want this to be very clear. This isn't a partisan issue. This is a Government of Canada issue. Every single member of Parliament needs to get together, change the legislation now so mayors, councillors, and our local people in our communities are not consistently being hurt and offended by violent offenders. And I saw this guy named Bam Bam standing in a neighborhood on Kelsey Drive in Niagara Falls, yelling out there was a sex offender living on their street in their mix, and watch out for their children. He didn't say the name. I don't know who it is, or I'd give it to you, believe me. but he didn't say the name. And I said, well, what about a name? But he was yelling about the guy living there. So be careful in that neighborhood. And I think this national sex offender registry has to be released to the public so everybody knows what they have living next door to them. You just don't know these days. And people with kids are trusting that their neighbors are okay, but they may not be. It's time. It's time. Now, St. Catherine's resident Rosalind Morris said, here's the reality. If a dangerous dog lived on the street, every parent would want their child to stay off that street, stay away from that house. Yeah. Why then are we denied the same right to protect our children from a known predator? And that's a great analogy. That's a really good analogy. I think it's time to post and reveal who these people are. Now, the left wing will say it's against their rights. They always do. But sometimes people's rights to live without fear supersedes a criminal's right to prey on the weak. That is exactly what they do time and time again. We've seen it. They're repeat offenders. And there's not much you can do about it except let people know they're there. And if they try to pull anything, then you clobber them. If the courts want to let them out to wander the streets, we should know who and where they are. Hopefully, our city council right here in Niagara Falls picks up on this theme and back St. Catharines City Council if asked. Even if they are not asked, our city council somebody should put a motion forward and present a similar motion to the one that St. Catharines that council has passed. Come on, let's do it. Someone on city council should do this. Someone has to protect the weak. The courts won't. The cops can't. Someone has to protect them. So let's let us protect ourselves if they don't want to protect us. That's us. Let the strong protect the weak. We are the strong. Thanks to Dave Johnson and Allison Langley for this fantastic article. It's time. It's time they release this so we know who's who and who we're dealing with on our streets so we can protect our kids. And even if they're other kinds of criminals, protect even our older people and everything. You never know. These people are sick people. Okay, I want to get to my second sponsor, Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue. And you know I love pizza. I talk about it all the time. Guess what I had this morning for breakfast? Yeah, a hunk of pizza. I always have a hunk of pizza sitting around somewhere. Just in case. Just in case. And where do I get it from? Pete's Pizza. Why? Because Pete's Pizza uses the Mancini family recipe for crust and sauce that's been around for 40 years. But it's not just that. They know how to put it together with the right ratios of beautiful mozzarella brick cheese blend with that great Mancini sauce, the perfect crust, and then they cook it to perfection. You can't beat it. Now, throw on some fresh toppings and you got yourself a winner. I'm telling you that right now, but they're not a one-trick pony. No, 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 no. They have great wings and poutine and steak and cheese poutine and panzerotti, steak sandwich, you name it. They do it all. And they do it great. Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue. How do you get one? 905-374-2222. They have a full menu to please you. You don't have to worry about it there being something you don't like. You can also use Skip and Dine and all the other ones. Go to their website. Order off their website, petespizzavictoria.ca. Can't go wrong. Pete's Pizza, number one in my books. Support our sponsors. They support the show. Keep saying that. Okay. Now, it's happening. Remember 2 council meetings ago, they said they're going to put speed cameras on their streets? And then one city council meeting ago, the last one, a week ago or so, they said, no, we're putting them on. And Councilor Lori Lococo got up and said, I'm making a motion to get rid of them. Why are you making a motion to get rid of them? Because Doug Ford, our premier, said that he's getting rid of them. Everybody's yelling and screaming, Doug Ford, the penguin got up, Doug Ford, what he says doesn't matter, it's blah, blah, blah. Well, guess what? He's getting rid of them. He's getting rid of them. That's all there is to it. He's going to pass a law to get rid of them. And so, Lori, you were right. But I think the penguin and the squirrel, they don't like to see money going like this, flying away. They love those dollar bills. They get their hands on them and blow them on ping pong tables, $25,000 ping pong tables, $17 million trails. And then if they don't spend it, the squirrel gets it and squirrels it away in these reserve funds that we never see ever again for some reason. And then we look around the city and go, oh, geez, the jawbreaker hasn't been fixed yet. Oh, the jawbreaker, when are they going to fix that? It never gets done. I don't know why. We got the money because they squirrel it away. Never gets done. And so here we are with new kidneys, new ball joints, and basically a broken jaw, the jawbreaker. And there's about 30 jawbreakers in Niagara Falls, known for their bad streets. Apparently, Doug Ford will outlaw the one-eyed bandits. That's what I call them, one-eyed bandits. You heard of one-armed bandits in Vegas. These are one-eyed bandits. Council calls them speed cameras, and he's getting rid of them this fall. It's a no-go for councils across Ontario. The theft is over. It's done. You gotta love it. These cash cows are coming down faster than the Blade Runner and the Painter can do their work. I mean, what are they going to do now, the Blade Runner and the Painter? They've got to find another cause. Other good deeds, I hope. These were good deed tours. Ford called the cameras a municipal cash grab. Nothing more, nothing less. Which they are, since they have done zero for safety. Other than line regional pockets and soon municipal pockets if they weren't stopped. Ford says they are looking at other options to slow down traffic, which makes more sense than hammering residents for a minimum of like $116 every time they went a kilometer over the speed limit. They make the operators rich and councils rich, but taxing the residents and tapping them out, they don't make them rich. My buddy Chopper said, hey, they should put in topes. And if you've ever been to Mexico, topes are these things probably, I don't know, they got to be at least 4 to 6 feet wide. And they cut the pavement down and plane it. So you go like this, boom, 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 right? They're really gnarly. They're terrible, topes. They're terrible. You don't want those, but but seriously, they do stop traffic, I'll say that. But he says he's going to use street calming devices from small turnabouts to speed bumps and flashing signs, which he says will slow people down. And my thing is, Dougie, come to Niagara Falls. I'll show you a way to slow people down without spending a dime. You don't have to spend a dime. Our city has it under control. They know what they're doing. I'll take you to the jawbreaker. Like I said, I defy anyone to go more than 20 kilometers an hour through the jawbreaker. Not going to happen. You want slow? I'll give you slow with no money involved. Our council has us under control on tons of city streets. The formula, don't spend any money repairing the streets. They go to shite and people slow down. The formula works for Niagara Falls, and we're known for having some of the worst streets in the country. Or at least in the province. And believe me, people do slow down. They do that or they face huge repair bills, way more than a ticket, and kidney transplants, which are not that easy to get these days. It's a winning system we have in the Falls, Dougie. Call me. I'll take you. I'll show you how to control speed. But I digress. There's a bad part to this too. The penguin and squirrel were counting on the money. They had it already accounted for, most likely in this budget, and now it's gone. Poof. Now it's gone. So what's that mean for your taxes? Stay tuned, because it could be a whopper. They were depending on that money, I'll bet you. I bet you they had it already counted out. Oh boy, we're taking in this money. We're going to have millions by the end of Yeah. Of course, the speed people tell you stories about how speed has been reduced. But what they don't tell you is that speed was never a problem in the first place, because it wasn't. Speeding drivers never harmed a child in front of the school or caused any accidents. So when they say the speed has been reduced by 9 kilometers an hour, who cares? Have accidents been reduced? Because remember, this is about safety. It's not about anything else. They're all about safety. Well, if it's already safe, how can it be any safer? It isn't a problem. Safety is not a problem in the first place. So if it's not, that's not the problem. Then the problem is we want more money. We don't have enough money. This is a way to generate money. One-eyed bandits. They are. Stay tuned. This could get good because they're going, and we're happy. And thank you to the Blade Runner and the painter. You did your job, and now they're going. So you got to find something else. I don't know what. We'll find something for you. We'll find something for you. Okay, over to these pikers in the Niagara region. I'm getting tired of these pikers, aren't you? Not bikers, the guys on motor. No, not bikers. Pikers, the guys who tell you they're going to spend money and then they don't. They're piking on us. Welland remains uncommitted to help fund the new Niagara Falls Hospital. Well, isn't that nice? And they may go south on their $17.8 million commitment to the share of the cost, something that was essential from all municipalities to build the behemoth. I mean, this thing is $2.3 billion to build. Oh, that's what it was when it started. See, now it's up to $3.6 billion. But the province, in their benevolence, has said, hey, we just want 10% from the municipalities involved on the $2.3 billion we originally said it was going to be. And if I do the math right, that is not, double not. That's like 230, 20, that's like 230 million. 2.3 billion, 10%, 230 million, right? Am I right? I think so. I think I'm right. So, depending on the size of the city, their share reflected the amount they paid. In this case, $17.8 million for Welland. Now, as usual, the price of the bill ballooned, but they're still only on the hook for their $17.8 million. With another, in Niagara Falls, we thrown in our share $30 million, $11 million for land we needed, another 30 or 40 million for property and to install the necessary infrastructure, which they claim we're going to get back in development charges when they start building houses and everything else. We'll see about that one. But yeah, the whole thing's stymied by the new water treatment plant. We still need that. The region's broke. They can't afford that. Nobody has the money to build anything right now. And then Welland's piking on 17.8 million. So where's that coming from? I don't know. But they're not the only one that's piking. We have Fort Erie that owes 10.5 million. They say they can't afford it. Port Colborne that owes 6.2 million. We can't afford it. Pelham that owes 5.8 million. We can't afford it. Wainfleet that owes 2.2 million. Can't afford that. The Niagara region committed $44.5 million. Now we know they're good for that. But still, mon ami, we're still short. And these guys aren't going to pony up. Most counselors are saying they cannot afford it at all. We just can't afford it. With some saying they'll pay a part of it, but we'll defer it until next year's budget, 2027. Some are looking to extort other things from various agencies to pay their share, like Welland leveraging their own hospital's welfare if they're going to pay the money. Where's our money? Give us our money and then we'll pay yours. Listen up. Okay, to all the municipalities, listen up, you slap nuts. You're going to be using the hospital. Nobody's going to turn you away or your citizens, so pony up, pay your share. Let's get this thing funded. Let's get this thing built. It's supposed to get built by 2028 and be done with it. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Story with files from Alan Benner of the Review. So there you go. Welland's piking out. How are we gonna get them to pony up? Mayor Jim, go have a talk with Frank Campion and say, listen, we're gonna put tariffs on Welland if you don't pay your share. Anything that comes from Welland, cars coming into Niagara Falls are going to pay a tariff. They have to pay $5 to get into the city from Welland. We're going to put toll booths and all the roads at the city boundary. And a tariff you. Get out there, come on. Where there's a will, where there's a way. Call it the Wellen tax, and get the money out of them. Come on. So over to my third sponsor, Hamel Machine Company, and they're a great guy. Hamel Machine Company. These are the best people in town. I'll tell you, there's such a good group over there. Been around since 1948, and whenever an industry moves into town, if one from Welland moves, then we're going to put a tariff on them. Whenever they move into town, of course, they're looking for a machine shop that can do the work for them, because when they break down, they're losing money. They have to get up and running. So who do they call? Hamel Machine Company. Bob and the boys go over there, and the girls. I guess there's women there that get over there too, and they take a look at the problem, come up with solutions, fix the problem by either fixing it, repairing the item that's broken, or they reverse engineer it and give them a brand new product part that they made. Using their 3D printers or their water jet cutters. They've got it all over there. They have the ability, the technical ability, the technicians, the engineers. They got it all. They do it all. But the good thing is about them is that they don't just repair the part; they make it better. They're looking to be able to make a machine more productive. So they come up with innovative ideas to do that. And of course, time is money, and the more a machine can pump out per hour, the more money the company makes. So it makes sense. And that's what they do. That's what they're good at. They've done it for the wine industry, the food industry. They've done it for agricultural products industry. They ship the parts around the world. Their inventions. That's how good they are. They just got it going on over there. They know what they're doing. They're very good at what they do. But they haven't forgot about the little guys. If you need something done around your house, fabricated, designed, fixed, repaired, whatever, they can do it for you. And they'll do it at a good rate that you can afford. Hamel Machine Company, been around 1948. Hamelmachine.ca is where you go to see the beautiful that work they do for the wine industry and other industries. Support our sponsors; they support the show. Hamelmachine.ca is where you go, and while you're there, check out the great stuff they have, and go over to our video and subscribe. Hit the thumbs up, comment. Come on, we need you. Let's go. We thank our sponsors, and we encourage everybody to support our sponsors. Okay, so we saw what happened with that American truck where the tire flew off and I think killed a few American people in a car out by the Skyway there the other day. And the Niagara Regional Police have decided to do another commercial vehicle check on Monday, along with the MTO, and began to pull over commercial vehicles for inspection. And the results are sad, to say the least. Sad. 36 vehicles pulled over for inspections. 12 trucks were taken right off the road. They were so dangerous. We're talking commercial vehicles here. They're the ones that run up and down the roads every day. 33% were defective and pulled off the road. 12 of them pulled off the road after major defects were found. Now you look at the tens of thousands of trucks traveling the 400 series of highways every day, and you've got a Mad Max situation waiting to kill you and your family out there. Some of the charges included defective brakes, improper daily inspections. Drivers are supposed to do walkarounds, check their trucks, check their brakes, that kind of thing. Expired annual inspections, expired permits, insecure loads, and that's a real dangerous one because if they come off, you're in big trouble. Improper commercial vehicle operators registrations, over dimensions, so oversized loads, improper expired license, improper no insurance, improper vehicle maintenance, and other offenses. I mean, this is scary stuff, ladies and gentlemen. This is scary stuff because when you're traveling down the road, the worst thing you can have happen is when these big trucks lose the tire or something happens to them or they lose their brakes. They're dangerous. They're hauling dangerous goods, some of them. They have to be top notch, running perfect. There's no room for error on these. The owners operators run under the assumption that they can't stop all of them, And they're out to make money, not save your life with proper inspections, licenses, insurance, and maintenance. So you can't depend on them to patrol themselves. Somebody's got to patrol them. And that's where the inspections come in. I mean, 33%. Can you imagine? 33% of the trucks running at 120 kilometers an hour on the highway, right next to you sometimes, are defective and shouldn't be on the road. Knowingly putting those vehicles on the road is tantamount to murder if something goes wrong, like a 4 or 5 year old wandering around with a loaded gun. Nothing good can come out of it. It's unbelievable, but it happens. While they're at it, are they testing reading skills? That is a question asked by a friend of mine, Sherry Barrett Broderick. And it's a great question because in the United States, they're doing tests to make sure that the people driving understand English, they can read and write English. In the US, it's a huge problem. And if you know it's a problem in the US, you know darn well it's a problem in Canada. So they should be asking, if they find someone who cannot speak English fluently, they should ask them the question, can they read the signs? Can they read the regulations regarding trucking and understand them? Do they know what they're supposed to be doing every day? Sure, they got their little rule thing, but can they read it? Can they comprehend it? I'd say that's pretty important, wouldn't you? So that's a great question, Sherry, and thank you for asking that. I noticed it online. I had to mention it because that's the one thing we should do. Hats off to the owners operators that do follow the rules. 67% of them do follow the rules, and they work towards keeping the highways safe for the traveling public. Thank God for that, but I'd still feel a lot better if I knew that 99.9% of the traffic follows the rules. So 99.9% of these owners follow the rules and are keeping their trucks in tip-top shape so there's no accidents. I think we all would agree that that would be a good thing. I'm glad they're doing these checks. They're needed. They're needed because we have people who won't go by the rules, and some just don't understand them. So there's that. Okay, so did any of you watch that UN speech by President Trump the other day? Wow. What a speech, with Trump putting the world on notice that if they want to F around with the US, they're going to find out. F around and find out. And it won't be pretty. What was he talking about? Well, not necessarily war, but tariffs. He told the UN they are useless. They should be disbanded. They are funding the immigration crisis across the US border, trying to destroy the US. And he said that's over. Now, these UN guys, they're a bunch of clowns. This outfit's got to go. Got to go. Take back that building in New York City. Get these guys the hell out of there. They tried to screw Trump up. First, they shut down the escalator. Did you see that video? Trump's walking to get on the escalator to go up, and Melania steps on, and he's going to go step on. They just shut it down. They shut it down dead. And Melania said, come on. And they ended up going up, but the sudden stop could have made Melania fall face first into the escalator. I mean, you don't do that kind of stuff. And that wasn't by accident. Stop that thing, you got to flip up a thing and hit a button and everything. They walked up, and plus that thing stops, and Trump's exposed. He's in there, right? He's got bodyguards and that, but still, he's on his way up. The bodyguards are behind him, in front of him, but not to the side. And he's standing right there. The escalator stopped. Plus, I mean, they thought, oh, this guy's 80 years old. He's going to be 80 next year, and maybe he'll have a hard time getting up there, and we'll embarrass him. Maybe that's what they're thinking. I don't know, but he walked up there like nothing, and he got to the podium to do his speech, his delivery. Shut off the teleprompters, but wrong guy to do it to. Trump loves freewheeling. He don't even like using teleprompters. She said, "That's fine. I'll just do this. I'll just do this off the top of my head, no problem." And they told him 10-minute speech for everybody. He was 55 minutes. He goes, screw you guys. I'm saying everything I got to say to you while I'm here. You're getting both barrels. So he would put he's going to put them on notice. He's going to put everybody on notice. I think they got the message. A lot of them just sat there stunned. He blamed them for immigration in every country by funding them to go into every country and ruin those countries. Oh yeah, he gave it to them. I mean, the best thing Trump could do is get rid of the UN once and for all, stop funding NATO, deliver pain to the countries that stand with terrorist groups Hamas, and once and for all, get these countries to stop their insane wars. Quit aiding and abetting them. You know, a lot of people are saying Trump is flip flopping on Russia. Oh yeah, he brought Zelensky in, and then he brought Putin in, but he's not flip flopping. Trump doesn't care about either one of them. He don't care. He wants peace. That's his goal, peace. So whoever that he has to work with that has the best chance to bring peace to the table in a ceasefire, that's who he's going to work with. Now, he tried with Putin in Alaska. This was supposed to be a ceasefire and an end to this. It never happened. So now he's turning to Zelensky. And people saying he's flip-flopping. His goal is for peace. He hasn't flip-flopped on that. He's going to get it by hook or by crook, no matter who he has to work with and deal with to get it. There are no sides to this. There's no sides. It's about peace. And whoever he has to work with, he's going to work with to bring about peace. Doesn't matter if it's Zelensky, doesn't matter if it's Putin, that doesn't matter. It's about peace. So if you think he's flip-flopping, wrong. Not flip-flopping. He's trying to achieve his goal. He wants it ended now. His mission is peace. That's it. That's how simple it is. So I was watching this show. I watch everything. I watch shows all day. So Kamala apparently wrote a book. It's a joke, but it does really describe how left-wing radicals work. She was on there talking about it, not making a lick of sense. I mean, this is like, I don't know, too much smearing off. I don't know. She's taking Nancy Pelosi's drive down the booze highway or what she's doing, but here she is. She continually calls Trump a fascist and communist. We know that. She said it so many times. But she's backing an avowed communist for mayor of New York City, Zoran Mamdani. So what the heck's that all about? This is how they work, though. This is how these left-wingers work. They preach one thing and do the other. What's good for you is not good for them, and what's good for them is not good for you. And do as I say, not as I do. So somebody from the press asked Kamala, is Biden okay? Kamala says, yeah, he's fine. He runs meetings as sharp as a tack. He's going to run a great campaign, blah, blah, blah. Nothing wrong with him. The media's making it up. Trump and the Republicans are making it up. Now, they force Biden out. She loses the election, and she blames it on Biden. The guy that was okay to run and was going to beat Trump, she blames on him. Oh, he quit too late. I never had enough time. 107 days is enough time. So now they're throwing each other under the bus. Kamala, I endorse and I'm a big supporter of DEI and LGBTQ plus 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 plus. Now in her book, she says she didn't take Pete Buttigieg as a running mate because he's gay. So what happened to that first statement that she said all along? I mean, this is the way they work. They're all hypocrites. They're all liars. They're violent people that eat their own. She lost because she herself was a DEI hire. She wasn't qualified for the job, but they gave it to her because Biden said he wanted a black woman to be his vice president. And she was the one they chose, even though there was a lot more black women that were way more qualified. So she has no qualifications for anything. She's wacky as a weasel. It had nothing to do with Biden, the reason she lost. She lost because of her. Americans saw that in her and landslided her. I mean, who's going to buy her book of lies? I don't know. I don't know. I don't think it's going to hit the bestseller list. I don't think anybody's buying into her baloney. Okay, over to my last sponsor, Niagara Parks Commission. And we live in Niagara Falls, and we don't get down the parks enough because, we take it for granted. It's right there. But at the end of the day, 14 million tourists come to Niagara Falls and they enjoy all the Parks Commission has to offer. And they've got a lot. They're custodians of 32 miles of the most beautiful scenic parkway in the world, centered by one of the seven natural wonders of the world, Niagara Falls itself. Now, what do they do to add to your stay? Well, they have all kinds of attractions. All kinds of attractions. They have zip lines. They have power stations they've refurbished to bring them back to their glory days of the early 1900s, where you can walk through the waste tunnels and go right to the river. They have the Table Rock House, which has the scenic tunnels. You can stand right next to the falls coming down right beside you. They have butterfly conservatory, schools of horticulture, plants from around the world, butterflies from around the world. They have Spanish Aero Car that runs right over the whirlpool where the Niagara River makes its bend to go to Lake Ontario from Lake Erie after going over the falls. Amazing. Great Gorge Strip, grade 6 rapids. You stand right there with them. So dangerous, boats can't navigate them. This is the kind of attraction that they bring to you. And their latest one, Niagara Takes Flight, is out of this world, a $25 million immersive attraction where you go from Lake Ontario to Lake Erie, going down the Niagara River, seeing the power station, seeing history, up over the falls. It's amazing. It's amazing. Niagara Parks Commission does it all for you. Go to their website, niagaraparks.com. Check out their attraction passes. You can do a bunch of attractions for one low price, and their parking passes. Niagara Parks Commission, one of our sponsors. We thank them. People in town, go see what they have to offer. We haven't been down there enough. I haven't been through any of this stuff. I got to go. I got to put that on my bucket list, and I live right here, a mile away. Niagara Parks Commission, support our sponsors. They support the city. Okay, let's talk about a few things before we leave here, because it's getting to the witching hour of 1 o'clock. Antifa is being recognized worldwide for exactly what they are, a bought and paid for terrorist group. And all countries are starting to recognize that and they're calling them on it. And they're designating them a terrorist group. And we see what's happening in Italy. Italy, since they said they would not support a Palestinian state, is being burned to the ground by Muslims. Oh yeah, Milan's on fire. They're going crazy. And who are they funded by? The radical left and Antifa. They're in Italy, make no mistake. They're burning down Malone. And Gabriella Maloney, the PM, she's going to round these guys all up and get rid of them. She's had enough. And these rioters are all supported by Antifa, so she's going to round them up. Now, France, the UK, and Canada are so afraid of the terrorists they've let into their countries. And we talked about that. Millions, 10 million of them in this country. We haven't talked about it. I'll talk about it in a minute. They're so afraid of them, they said they're going to recognize the Palestinian states. They're going to recognize a group of terrorists. And in the UK, a judge said Sharia law is fine. They can have it. They can run Sharia law in Great Britain now. I mean, how long before the UK is completely gone? It's completely lost. As we said it, I said it before. I said 1 generation and it's gone. And that's about it. 10 years of Trudeau, 1 generation. We've basically lost this country. Forget about it. It's gone. I mean, all these people who are acknowledging the Palestinian state, forget about October 7th, how 1,200 innocent civilians were massacred, raped, executed, kids included, and 250 hostages taken that haven't been given back yet. Any ones that have come back, most of them have come back dead. And they still got a whack of them that they won't release. And they're on their deathbed now. Unbelievable. I mean, these Palestinians wrote their own obituaries. Nobody else wrote it for them. They decided Hamas was the ones they wanted to run their country, and they've suffered ever since. And they haven't lifted a finger to get rid of them. They fled the country. They've come to Canada and other places. And now they're causing trouble here. Israel's got to wipe them out, clean that out once and for all, get rid of them, take care of these terrorists, and call it a day. That's the way it is. That's the way it is. You know, the Danish government has declared a national emergency over drones in their airspace. Imagine that. They deployed the military and have no idea where the drones came from, but are suspecting Russia, of course. It reminds me of the drones flying over the U.S. last year. Remember when Biden said they don't know what they are, they don't know what they are, who's doing it? I mean, it's hard to believe they didn't know. Although, it's not hard to believe Biden didn't know. Maybe his auto pen knew. But he didn't. And, I mean, they got the military up watching these drones, and they're hitting the Ukraine. Of course, they're hitting Poland. They're hitting Romania, now Denmark. Like, it seems to be the trend in that part of the world where there's drones flying over their territory, and they're shooting them down. They sent 2 F-16s up to see what was going on with these drones. So they're blaming it on Moscow, and I would say probably they could be right, although who knows? Somebody could be tagging them like Moscow to fool everybody. I don't know. But it's weird, and they're going on high alert, all these countries over there, in case something happens. So let's go back to Canada to end the show here. And I'm not sure if these numbers hold water or not. But it said that the last 10 years, 36.5% of Canada's population growth has been imported. Now, that's about 10 million people. I mean, it seems high, but Trudeau had open borders, so we know it's a lot. But it makes sense when you look around and consider how long we had open borders for, and they were just letting everybody, and Boyd Blunder let anybody in who wanted to come in. And basically, a lot of these people are from one region, one area. So when you allow that many people in from one area, this isn't immigration. This is an invasion. And then you let them in, letting them use ways to skirt our immigration laws, like student visas, diploma mills. Yeah, I believe there's 10 million. I believe there's 10 million. This invasion has changed the landscape of Canada. It's pushed Canadian services to the limit. Our infrastructure cannot handle the invasion. We're seeing it. Our schools, hospitals, other public services cannot handle it. Our courts and police cannot handle the influx of crime. It's a total disaster, and we see it all the time. This isn't being made up. This is something that is going on right now. Now, the U.S. has the same problem, but it was coming in from the southern border, and Trump is taking care of that. He's closed down that southern border. He removed those that should not be there. If you want to know what's up next for Canada, just look to Europe. You'll see exactly what's next for Canada. UK, France, Spain, they're all in the same boat. Netherlands, European countries are now trying to correct the wrong. The question is it going to be impossible? Are the invaders using the rights and freedoms of democratic countries against them so they can get in and take over? Trump told them flat out at the UN meeting about open borders, and it's going to ruin their sovereignty. And he's right. I mean, Canada has to pay attention because we're next. We're already there. What do you think out there? Leave it in the comments. Are we already there? Is Canada too far gone to come back? What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Anyway, I'm getting out of here. That's that for today. Tomorrow is finally Friday. We're going to wrap up the show with a bunch of different stuff. Next week, I got to get Peter Dicker in here to talk about a lot of things going on. He always has a good view on it. Always an entertaining show when Peter comes in. And we'll get him in the studio. And then, of course, we go through our long weekend, Thanksgiving. And we have another council meeting to take care of. Then we're into November almost, and then we got the budget coming. The NHL starts October 8th. For me, that is the day that Montreal Canadiens open against the Toronto Maple Leafs. That's not far off. We have a hockey game tonight. Montreal plays Toronto tonight in preseason action. So lots going on. Lots going on around the world, including shootings of ICE agents, what happened to Charlie Kirk shooter, and what the real story is. There's so much going on. You don't want to miss it. But don't forget to support our sponsors. Please support our sponsors: Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop, Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue, Hamel Machine Company, and Niagara Parks Commission. Support our sponsors. Support the show. My name is Paul Kalanier. 4680Q is where I'm broadcasting from in downtown Niagara Falls, Ontario, Canada. Your city, your voice. Says so up on the sign. Have a great day, everybody. Enjoy it. It's raining out right now. It looks like to me it's sprinkling out. Have a great day. God bless you all. We'll see you tomorrow. And please be nice to everybody. Be nice to one another, because there's not a lot of nice out there anymore. So be nice. Take care. Talk to you tomorrow on Finally Friday.